In the land of Smash, where drama and fights unfolded daily, where melee and brawl players argued until the death, and where blood was drawn over which game was superior, there lived a beautiful, handsome prince. His name was Mewtwo Prince, and he wanted nothing more than to become a Mewtwo king so he could bring peace to a land ravaged by constant war. With his realm divided into two, soon to be three after the new Smash 4 came out, he knew he had to become king soon, which meant he had to claim a Mewtwo queen. Our story of Mewtwo Prince starts out like any other. He was streaming Melee from his room. "This is stupid. You guys suck," he yelled at his stream. He was doing Event 51 with Pichu for the 100,000th time. "I wanna play Melee. I wanna play Melee," he went on. Just then his father, Lord Meta Knight, tornadoed into the room with someone at hand, a chubby kawaii boy. "My son," Meta Knight began in his Spanish accent, "I have found an acceptable mate for you. This is ZeRo." Mewtwo Prince pushed up his glasses examining the young man. ZeRo looked down at the ground blushing hard. "Yes," Mewtwo Prince continued. "Tonight I will become Mewtwo King." And with that Meta Knight departed, for the last thing he wanted to hear were the moaning sounds of his son. He decided to leave for the Dreamland stage. The loud obnoxious gourmet race theme would surely drown out the noises of his son's lovemaking. Meanwhile, Mewtwo Prince continued to stare at ZeRo, while his new lover eventually found the courage to speak. It's nice to meet you, Mewtwo Prince. You will refer to me as Mewtwo King." ZeRo flinched at his new senpai's anger, but soon the anger would be replaced with a loving touch when Mewtwo King gently kept ZeRo's face in his hand. ZeRo's eyes opened, looking kawaii as ever. Mewtwo King was now beginning to get aroused at the sight of the cuteness. "You're beautiful," he uttered as his lips went crashing onto ZeRo's. ZeRo's eyes widened even more. It was a strange, unfamiliar feeling to him, but soon started to feel good and he began to embrace. Mewtwo King already had his arms tight around ZeRo's body. He also yearned for the same feeling, so naturally he began to explore Mewtwo King. He put his hands on his back and slowly made his way down, lower and lower on Mewtwo King's body. Feeling ZeRo's hands near his ass, Mewtwo King was starting to become more frisky. His tongue now wanted to explore just as his hands did, and he attempted to penetrate the kawaii boy's lips. ZeRo resisted at first, but the ecstasy would soon take control. Mewtwo King's tongue finally broke through and he began to feel every crevice of ZeRo's mouth. The king was surely dominating, but the younger boy decided he wanted some fun too. With his own tongue, ZeRo attempted to force himself into Mewtwo King. The king wasn't going to give up his dominance so easily though. A battle between their tongues had emerged, saliva mixing and teeth accidentally bumping. The boys were on the floor by this point. As ZeRo broke free and gasped for air, Mewtwo King stood up and led them over to the bed. "You're so good at this, senpai," ZeRo complimented. "I've had some experience before," answered the king. "Many have attempted to become my Mewtwo Queen in the past. I've had relations with Ally, Armada, Dr. Pages, and I'm pretty sure I'm the mother of Mango's child, Pineapple." Wow, ZeRo thought. Mewtwo King had an impressive list, and yet his only accomplishment was fantasizing about ZeRo suit Samus whipping him on the ass. Mewtwo King continued. "Even though I've been with so many, I really feel like you're the one, ZeRo. You are my Mewtwo Queen." ZeRo was speechless. His face began to turn a soft shade of red. He didn't know how he could blush so much. Mewtwo King slowly started to remove their clothes. After ZeRo's shirt was taken off, he began to cross his arms over his chest, looking in embarrassment once more. Mewtwo King's chest was absolutely stunning and ZeRo felt shy. "Don't be scared," the king whispered as he went to undo their pants. The sight of Mewtwo King standing at foot of the bed naked overwhelmed ZeRo. He was gorgeous and ripped, his penis hard and erect, ready to take ZeRo's virginity. "No. I can't." The younger boy became fearful and nervous. He was unsure if he was actually ready to give himself up like this. He got up and ran to a corner of the room, where Mewtwo King's flannel shirts and food wrappers lay. "Zero," called the king. Slowly Mewtwo King walked over to where the kawaii boy sat, shaking and scared. Frightened, Zero began to pick up any object in sight and threw it at his senpai. It was as if Pit himself was in the room camping away from the side of the stage, arrow after arrow. Mewtwo King wouldn't settle for this, and he decided to pull one of his own tricks on Zero. Reaching out and grabbing him by the scarf, the only article of clothing he still had on, Mewtwo King threw him up into the air, jumped up, pulled out Marth's Falcon out of nowhere, and spiked Zero back onto the bed. "Is Marth here? Where did he come from?" thought the startled Zero. No, Marth couldn't have been there. He was already in a threesome with Roy and Ike, which was about to become a lot more awkward once a female, yet more masculine version of himself was released for Smash 4. "Zero, you're more than ready for this. I'll make you feel good, just relax and let me take care of you," Mewtwo King went on as he gently kissed his lover on the forehead. The king left a trail of kisses as he reached down to Zero's chest, then proceeded to take the kawaii boy's nipple into his mouth. His tongue swirled around as Zero was taken back by the pleasure. He began to let out soft moans. Oh, Mewtwo King, yes. Mewtwo King made sure to give plenty of attention to both of Zero's nipples before he ventured lower. At last, the king had made it down to Zero's manhood, to which he greeted with gentle, soft strokes by his hand. Zero didn't think he could handle all this pleasure. It was as if he would come right there. The king let a small smirk appear on his face. It pleased him to see Zero becoming erect. I want to make you feel good to my king. Please, let me try," Zero muttered as he also grabbed the throbbing, erect manhood of his lover, stroking it just the way Senpai was. Together the boys were filled with lust and excitement as they caressed each other's private parts. The king let Zero have his fun, but now it was time to take control over his new love once more. Mewtwo King lowered his body down to Zero's hard penis, licking his lips before flicking his tongue over the tip. The touch of his wet, hot, moist tongue startled Zero as his eyes shot open wide. "Senpai. No. Please don't. I beg you, please." The younger boy's eyes began to water, but the king would not hear any of it. Slowly the king slid his hot mouth over Zero's erection, taking it all in. "Ah!" Zero screamed out at the top of his lungs. The king bobbed his head up and down Zero's shaft as his tongue continued to work its way around his penis. All Zero could feel was the wetness of his lover's mouth. It felt so good against his erection, and he wanted it to last forever. He writhed over the bed in ecstasy, letting out small whimpers, knowing what was about to happen. "Senpai. I'm gonna come. Oh God. Oh God." Mewtwo King pulled himself away, letting Zero's hot juices spray him all over the face. "I'm sorry, my king," was all the younger boy could utter. The king wiped the liquid from his face before licking his fingers. Looking up at Zero, whose face was still on the verge of tears, he replied in a sexy, deep voice, "You're going to get it now." He flipped Zero over. The kawaii boy was now facing down at the mattress underneath him. With his face hitting the pillow and his behind in the air, Zero knew what was about to happen. "I'm going to punish you now," called the king as he grabbed onto Zero's scarf. The sight of Zero's tightest shell made Mewtwo King aroused once again. He desired nothing more than to take the virginity of the cute younger boy below him. Spreading his ass with his saliva-covered fingers, Mewtwo King then began to place his tip over Zero's virgin entrance. Zero braced himself for the pain about to come. The king grabbed hold of Zero's waist as he forcefully thrusted himself deep inside. "Ah! It hurts. Mewtwo King, it hurts," Zero cried out, eyes full of tears. Mewtwo King didn't care. He grabbed a tighter hold on Zero's scarf, pulling his head back, nearly choking him. The king was going to ride his new love like Mario on a Yoshi. Pounding into his tightest shell and simultaneously strangling Zero, Mewtwo King was in absolute bliss. He loved dominating the boy, whether it be in the bedroom or in a melee match. Yes, take it," he went on. "No. Please stop. ZeRo, now completely filled with tears, begged. I want to start over. I don't like it. And just like any other melee match before, ZeRo whined and cried for a do-over until he got his way. The king had no other choice but to remove himself from the younger boy. Letting go of the scarf, he turned ZeRo onto his back. The two were now face to face. Thank you, Senpai. Mewtwo King looked at the aroused yet shaken boy in front of him. It's okay, he replied. Besides, now I get to look at your cute face as I'm fucking the shit out of you. Now face to face, Mewtwo King would love ZeRo with a more gentle approach. He placed his hands around ZeRo's neck as he planted another loving kiss onto his lips. I'll be gentle this time, my love, I promise, he whispered before grabbing the younger boy's legs and spreading them apart. ZeRo embraced, opening his legs more and positioning himself to take it in. Mewtwo King took his penis and gently rubbed the tip over ZeRo's still tight ass. Does it feel good? Asked the king. ZeRo hesitated to reply for a moment until letting out a soft whisper, yes. With a few soft moans, ZeRo began to feel good. Please don't tease me anymore, Mewtwo King, put it in. Beg for it. His senpai responded. A small look of concern appeared on ZeRo's face. Would he really have to beg now? There was no other option. Feeling hot, he had to beg his king. Please, Mewtwo King. I want it. I want it bad. I want to feel you inside of me. I want you to fill me with your cum. Please, my king. Mewtwo King looked down at the boy with a loving smile and slowly entered once more. ZeRo, more aroused this time, enjoyed the penetration as he let out slow, long moans. Mewtwo King was so big, his penis was all ZeRo could feel, slowly thrusting in and out of his tight virgin hole. Oh my god. ZeRo became more vocal and the king knew it was time to pick up the pace. Mewtwo King grabbed ZeRo's legs and threw them over his shoulders as he moved his ass back and forth, thrusting himself harder and harder in. Faster. Harder. More, I want more. A hot ZeRo yelled. Yes. Take it. Become my Mewtwo Queen, was the king's response. Loud screams filled the room as the boys were filling with ecstasy. All of Smashland could hear. Meta Knight, now completely disgusted, couldn't escape from hearing the moans. Even afar off, Captain Falcon could hear, looking proud that a Mewtwo Queen was being made. Show him your moves, he said as a tear rolled down his face, so happy for Mewtwo King. The bed rocked as Mewtwo King thrusted faster and faster, feeling himself about to come. ZeRo. It's happening, he called as the boys were reaching their climax in pleasure. Come inside me, Mewtwo King. Come inside me. The king could feel himself reaching his climax. I'm coming. Oh god, I'm coming. Ah. He moaned as he released himself inside of ZeRo. The hot, warm cum shot up inside and ZeRo had reached absolute bliss. The juices from Mewtwo King filled him completely, causing him to come again, all over both his lover and himself. ZeRo's hot, sticky juices stayed between them as Mewtwo King collapsed onto him, kissing his forehead once more, and wrapping his arms around to cuddle his lover. The moans slowed as both boys tried to catch their breath. ZeRo never thought he could feel so good before. He wrapped his arms around the king and embraced. I love you, Mewtwo King. I love you too, ZeRo, so much. And now you're my Mewtwo Queen. Their lips kissed once more as they began to drift into a deep sleep. Just then, out of nowhere, as they were nearly asleep, the couple could hear a familiar hee sound. It was Kirby, and he was with ZeRo Suit Samus as they rode on Ridley's back, crashing into the room. ZeRo Suit had spent the day shopping for a new pair of high heels. She thought she would try them out for the new Smash game. She also took Kirby for a day on the town, buying him whatever he wanted, as she felt guilty for beating him at the Invitational. Let's face it, Kirby should have won that. Oh my god, ZeRo. What the fuck is this? I thought you loved me. She screamed at the top of her lungs at the sight of the boys still writhed in ecstasy. I'm the Mewtwo Queen now, was all he could say as ZeRo Suit went over to the bed and starting to whip both of their naked behinds. The boys secretly enjoyed this, though, as a jealous Zero Suit vented her anger. Kirby just laughed, "Poyo poyo," as his stubbly little limbs wiggled around. It was adorable. Little did any of them know, Mewtwo had left the stream on for everyone to hear their love-making. Everyone in the world heard it. The next day Zero would be wed as Mewtwo Queen and Mewtwo Prince had finally become Mewtwo King. It was a joyous celebration for all to have before Smash 4. Zero Suit grudgingly accepted Zero's new love. The thought of being top tier led her to lighten up. Speaking of top tier, even Meta Knight looked on happily as his son was finally wed. And everyone lived happily ever after, except Brawl, which died. The end.